Okay, well today I have something very exciting for you, and finally my copy of Personal Effects Dark Art by Hutchins has arrived, and I want to tell you a bit about it and about what's in it because it's extremely exciting and it might be sort of the new way that books are done. So I wanted to share it with you and also a bit about the story and Hutchins himself, because this book is an inspiring story in itself for authors. So first of all, looks like a normal book, but actually within it is this brilliant sort of package. Now this is a cross-media novel, which means that it is a book in itself, but it also has all of this great stuff. Now it's called Personal Effects Dark Art, and it's basically about an art therapist in a psychiatric unit called Brinkvale Psychiatric, and basically all of these things tell you aspects of the story. So for example, you can see there's credit cards, there's an ID for the evil one in the story, who's Martin Grace, and possibly that's a picture of Scott Sigler all dressed up, but I'll have to leave JC to tell me that. There's other bits and bobs, there's photos from the book, there's death certificates, there's little handwritten cards, there's some art, there's just all of this stuff comes in the envelope as part of the book. So basically when you get it, you're like, what is all this stuff? And you can see there's written notes. So one of the first things you feel like doing is sort of cracking open the envelope and exploring all this stuff. And then once you get into the book, you can work out where all this stuff fits in. So if I just, so that sort of fits in an envelope in the book there, and then you can actually start reading the book itself. Now the book itself is a thriller, I guess a supernatural thriller. It's quite scary, but some of the other things that happen in the book are they reference websites and phone numbers that you can call and websites that you can go visit that actually make this more real. So for example, there's a phone number that you can ring to hear Zachary Taylor, who is I guess the hero protagonist. You can actually hear his voicemail message, so it's quite weird. I went and rang it on Skype, and you hear his voice and he goes, "Hi, I'm Zachary Taylor," and then you can access his mailbox, which is very cool, and hear his dad, and that's part of the story itself. So that's quite interesting because you actually hear this guy's voice, and yet he's a character in a fiction novel. The other thing is that there's a number of websites that you can actually visit. So, and there's lots of pictures in the book because he's an artist, the protagonist. So there's a picture there of Rachel, who is the girlfriend of Zachary Taylor, and you can actually visit her website, pixelvixen707.com, and you can actually see that she's a blogger, and some of the stuff is referenced in the book, is also on the website. Very clever. There's other websites referenced in the book. For example, you can go to brinkvalepsychiatric.com. You can actually, commit yourself, receive commitment papers. You can also, one of my favourite sites is you'renotmenttoknowthis.com, which is actually very cool and has some kind of backstories on for conspiracy theories. So that's basically Personal Effects Dark Art, and it is a cross-media novel. You can go to jchutchins.net, and there's some videos and things by horror directors and sort of scary backstory things. It's very, very cool. And I also wanted to share the excitement, I guess, of having a copy of this sort of cross-media novel which has all this cool stuff, and again I'll wave it at you because I think that's so cool. You just get all of these things and you're kind of trying to work out how it all fits together, so that's very cool. The second thing is that Hutchins made it big, I guess, and got a traditional publisher and now has a sort of movie deal in the works and all of this stuff. So I wanted to share the book with you and explain a bit about that cross-media idea, the fact that you can cross from a text-based book into websites, photos, phone calls, very, very cool stuff. So when you're doing your own writing, I guess try and consider, can you actually do that? I mean, can you have a website or a blog based on a character, or from a character's perspective? Can you tweet in that character's perspective? Can you do things that will make your book cross-media? So that's quite exciting. That setting up of a phone number, I mean, these things don't cost very much money, if any money at all. You can have a free blog, you can tweet for free, all of this type of stuff. So just consider how you could possibly make your writing more 3D, I guess. The second thing I wanted to share was about JC Hutchins himself. So, you know, he's quite a young guy, but he's been writing for years, and he's actually written a trilogy of books called Seventh Son. And I spoke to JC a few months ago and was like, wow, this is amazing. So I started to listen to Seventh Son, and it's an incredible trilogy of books. And, you know, and what's happened is JC podcasted that over a number of years, and he got thousands and thousands of followers, which eventually led to this project, to being an author with St. Martin's Press for Personal Effects Dark Art. What it's also meant is through the audience that he's built up by podcasting, through basically building an online platform and having people who want to hear his stuff, he's basically got a deal to publish all 3 books in the Seventh Son trilogy with St. Martin's Press, and he's also optioned for a movie. So to me, that is incredibly, I guess, inspiring to hear that a young author who couldn't get a publishing deal decided to podcast his work for free, and he reads it all out loud, performs it. It's amazing. You can see it at seventhsonnovel.com, and you can basically listen to all of that for free, and you know, it transforms you, I guess, from someone who may not know this guy to someone who is a fan. And I bought this book because I listened to those podcasts, and basically I'm kind of urging you to consider podcasting your own work, and also, I guess, looking forward into the future and saying, well, what have I got to lose? You know, I can do this for free, I can do a podcast for free of my own work, I can do a blog, I can build a following, and then maybe a publisher will be interested, or maybe I'll just self-publish. So yeah, this is a great book because it's interesting in terms of cross-media, but also JC Hutchins' own story is inspiring to people. Now, this isn't his story, this is his fiction, but it's pretty exciting. So you can find out more at jchutchins.net, or you can obviously order the book on Amazon. And yeah, I'm a fan of JC, so thanks, brilliant book.